Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Moony Movie Show. This is another installment of our countdown to the Oscars 2026, where I'm going to be reviewing all 10 Best Picture nominees, and on this video, we're going to be talking about Hamnet. Okay, so Hamnet is one of those movies that I am going to have a very difficult time explaining to you the kind of synopsis or summary of the plot or what the movie's about without giving away some major spoilers to the movie. I'm going to find that very difficult because there is something that happens that I think is supposed to be a big thing that happens in the movie that you don't want to have spoiled for you, but is also pretty centered to the plot. I don't know how you explain the plot without including it. With that being said, I think this movie is going to have to be one of those very few movies where I don't actually give you a description of what the movie's about. I'm just going to have to skip and just go into my thoughts. Okay, let's talk about the director, Chloe Zhao. Chloe Zhao is a director that I'm pretty conflicted on, as are a lot of the directors this year for a lot of the Best Picture nominees. I think this is kind of a super group of directors that I think are a little bit hit or miss. Chloe Zhao and Yorgos Lanthimos, or whatever the hell his name is, and Paul Thomas Anderson. Those are three directors that are pretty universally loved that I'm kind of 50-50 on. You know, I don't love all their work. Kind of conflicting when it comes to this year's Oscars and a lot of our Best Picture nominees here. But Chloe Zhao, focusing on Chloe Zhao because this is her movie. She, of course, won for Nomadland back in 2021 for Nomad. I always thought that movie really kind of needed an asterisk next to it because it won Best Picture in a year that no movies came out. I mean, this was the height of the pandemic. No movies were coming out. It was competing for Best Picture up against a third, maybe less of the competition that it normally would have otherwise. So I think that Nomadland winning Best Picture is kind of something you just need a little bit of an asterisk next to. I don't think it's the most deserved win. And I've seen the movie. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But because it won Best Picture, Chloe Zhao then got hired on to do Eternals for Marvel, which I think is like my second or third least favorite Marvel movie. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not up to par with the rest of the Marvel movies, and I didn't really dig it. So Chloe Zhao directs this movie. I like this movie. This movie's pretty good. But kind of the same situation that I ran into with Sentimental Value, I don't really have all that much to say about it. I'm really conflicted in what there is to even talk about when it comes to this movie. I mean, Jessie Buckley gives an amazing performance. She's up for Best Lead Actress this year, and I think she's going to take it home. I really do. I think that's the direction that it's leaning. The awards season has kind of been going in her favor. I think she's probably got Best Actress in the bag. I could be wrong come Oscar Sunday. I could be proven way wrong. Don't put any bets down off of what I'm saying. But if I had to put money down, I'm putting my money down on Jessie Buckley. Because she did. She gave a great performance in this movie. She's great. I've always thought she was great. I've been following her career for a while. I think everybody started following her career after Chernobyl. She was so good in Chernobyl. She's been good in everything else I've seen her in. That being said, The Bride has come out this past weekend, and I have not seen a lot of good things about that, so maybe she's terrible in that. I don't know. At least from what I've seen thus far, Jessie Buckley has done phenomenal. And Paul Mescal, who I'm not too familiar with. I didn't really get all the hype because everybody loves this dude. I don't recall any of his work myself that I've seen. I could be mistaken. I could check his IMDb and find he's been in a couple movies that I just didn't realize that was him. But off the top of my head, this is my first real exposure to him. Pretty good actor. I don't know if it's like all the craze worthy like we're seeing, but really good actor. I thought he did a pretty good performance here. So performance-wise, this movie is off the charts great. I just don't really have all that much to say about it otherwise. I mean, it's a pretty looking film. I think that Chloe Zhao has always been good about that, for the most part, having some pretty good looking movies. The plot is heart-wrenching. And that's kind of, I think, the root of the problem here, because I watched this after watching Train Dreams. And I think this is one of those scenarios where whichever movie you like more is probably whichever movie you watched first, because they kind of are shooting to have the same effect on you as the viewer. They're both really grief-focused. And whichever one you watch first is probably going to be the one that gives you that gut-wrenching feeling and that emotional connection. And when you watch the other one, if it's still within at least semi-close proximity to when you watched the other, you're probably still gathering yourself from the previous movie to really enjoy the next one. I personally saw Train Dreams first. That movie emotionally wrecked me in the way that this movie was probably going to if I had watched this one first. But I was still kind of emotionally recovering from Train Dreams, and I think that kind of messed with my enjoyment of Hamnet a little bit. I know everybody loves this movie. This is one of the favorites going into the Oscars. Now, I'm not saying favorites as in likely to win, because I don't think it is, but it's one of the ones that everyone pretty much across the board is really liking. And I understand that. It is a good movie. I watched it. I enjoyed it. It didn't have the effect on me that I think it wanted to because I had already seen Train Dreams. And that's really unfortunate. I wish I could turn back time and watch this first and see if my opinion had changed. There's another reality out there where I'm sitting here raving about this movie, and when it comes to my review for Train Dreams, I'm kind of like, Hamnet kind of already did it to me, But that's not the reality we live in. In this reality, I watched Train Dreams first, and it emotionally wrecked me already, and when I watched Hamnet, I was kind of already emotionally numb from the devastation I had when watching Train Dreams, that I wasn't able to fully experience the emotional devastation that Hamnet was trying to shoot for. That being said, I still enjoyed the movie a lot. I do think it's very good. The story is good, the acting's good, the directing's good. I've got no real negative things to say about it, other than the fact it's something the movie couldn't even control. I watched Train Dreams first, and that had already done to me what this movie was shooting for. So, on the moon phase rating, I'm giving it a gibbous because it deserves it. It is a good movie. If I had watched it first, I probably would have gave it a full moon, but that's just not where we're at. So, it's getting a gibbous. I liked the movie. I would recommend it. And hey, if you haven't watched it or Train Dreams, watch Hamnet first, and then go into the comments and tell me if you like it or Train Dreams better. Maybe I'm crazy. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Hamnet. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed my commentary. We're doing all 10 Best Picture nominees, so if you liked this one and you want to hear my thoughts on the others, click on the others. We hope to have all 10 up by Oscar Sunday. But until then, this has been the Moony Movie Show. Have a good one.